Clinton, Obama, the Democrats debate one-on-one. Now, live from the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, inside the Kimmel Theater, the candidates await.
For most of this decade, George Stephanopoulos has been a part of our public life. First as a spokesman for the Clinton campaign and the White House, and now as a commentator here at ABC News. You first met Bill Clinton.
September 1991.
Not that you remember. You write he blew you away.
Absolutely. I felt indispensable to him. Felt like no one else could do what I could do for him, and I had to do it.
They were a great team, the optimistic candidate, the brooding apostle, his closest aide, his press and policy advisor, the man who perfected spin.
Let me start with a question to you, Senator Obama.
Yes.
Talking to a closed-door fundraiser in San Francisco, you got talking in California about small-town Pennsylvanians. Now, you said you misspoke. You said you mangled what it was you wanted to say. Do you understand that some people in this state find that patronizing? Senator Obama, since you last debated, you made a significant speech in this building on the subject of race and your former pastor, the Reverend Jeremiah Wright. And you said subsequent to giving that speech that you never heard him say from the pulpit the kinds of things that so have offended people. But more than a year ago, you rescinded the invitation to him to attend the event when you announced your candidacy. He was to give the invocation. And according to the Reverend, I'm quoting him, you said to him, you can get kind of rough in sermons. So what we've decided is that it's best for you not to be out there in public. I'm quoting the Reverend. But what did you know about his statements that caused you to rescind that invitation? And if you knew he got rough in sermons, why did it take you more than a year to publicly disassociate yourself from his remarks? Senator Clinton, I'm sorry, go ahead. Senator Clinton, let me follow up, but let me add to that. You have said that he would not have been my pastor. And you said that you have to speak out against those kinds of remarks, and implicitly by getting up and moving, and I presume you mean out of the church.
Senator, do you think Reverend Wright loves America as much as you do? Senator Clinton, when Bill Richardson called you to say he was endorsing Barack Obama, you told him that Senator Obama can't win. I'm not going to ask you about that conversation.
And Senator Clinton, I'm getting out of balance in terms of time, and you're getting shortchanged here. And so if you want to reply here, fine. If you want to wait, we'll do it in the next half hour.
We can wait.
Senator Obama, your campaign has sent out a cascade of emails just about every day questioning Senator Clinton's credibility, and you yourself has said she hasn't been fully truthful about what she would do as president. Do you believe that Senator Clinton has been fully truthful about her past?
I think what's important is to make sure that we don't get so obsessed with gaffes that we lose sight of the fact that this is a defining moment in our history. We are going to be tackling some of the biggest issues that any president has dealt with in the last 40 years.
Senator Obama, I have a question, and I want to know if you believe in the American flag.
Senator, if you get the nomination, you'll have to beat back these distractions. I want to give Senator Clinton a chance to respond, but first to follow up on this issue, general theme of patriotism in your relationships. A gentleman named William Ayers, Weather Underground in the 1970s. They bombed the Pentagon, the Capitol, and other buildings. He's never apologized for that, and in fact, on 9/11, he was quoted in the New York Times saying, "I don't regret setting bombs. I feel we didn't do enough." An early organizing meeting for your state Senate campaign was held at his house, and your campaign has said you were friendly. Can you explain that relationship for the voters and explain to Democrats why it won't be a problem?
George, but this is an example of what I'm talking about. This is a guy who lives in my neighborhood, who's a professor of English in Chicago. And the notion that somehow, as a consequence of me knowing somebody who engaged in detestable acts 40 years ago when I was 8 years old, somehow reflects on me and my values doesn't make much sense, George.
Well, I think that is a fair general statement, but I also believe that Senator Obama served on a board with Mr. Ayers.
I'm going to have to respond to this just really quickly, but By Senator Clinton's own vetting standards, I don't think she would make it, since President Clinton pardoned or commuted the sentences of 2 members of the Weather Underground.
Full circle was a true believer who thought the Clintons were his worthy cause, calling. He says he's still haunted by the memory of the day he said goodbye to them. The president, ever charming, told his old friend no one could replace him. Then Stephanopoulos said goodbye to the First Lady.
She came up to me and just put both her hands on my shoulders. Said, "I love you, George Stephanopoulos." And I said, "I love you too."